the winter. I'm over it. I'm done. My blood is thin. I'm complaining to my wife. She's tired of hearing me complain, so I guess I got to complain to you now because she's tired of hearing me whine about what a baby I am. But anyway, so we need the proverbs. We need in the midst of the cold, we need the wisdom that can come from the cold, the wisdom that we need to survive in this coldness. So no, it is good to be with you. I'm excited to be with you today. It's a wonderful Wednesday. I'm so glad we're going to restart our Wednesday night programming here at St. Matthew's tonight. We're going to play bingo because that'll be fun. And then we'll start Bible study and other classes next week. So great beginning of the new year here at St. Matthew's. I couldn't be more excited about what God's doing here. Just God, it reminds me often how good he is. And I'm just thankful for God's goodness in all things. Today we're going to do chapter 10. We're doing basically a chapter of Proverbs a day. Today we're doing chapter 10. And this is one, we've talked about how every chapter has sayings. Well, the next bit, when you look for a while, we're going to go into what is entitled in my Bible, Wise Sayings of Solomon. So we're going to look at some of Solomon's wisdom in here. And if you remember the story of Solomon from the Bible, he's David's son who becomes king. Solomon is the one who builds the temple. And that was what the temple was at its greatest, was when Solomon was the king. And he was the wisest man in all the world. Scripture tells us God allowed him to ask, and he asked for wisdom. And Solomon was an incredibly wise king. If you ever are so fortunate to get to go to Jerusalem and to go to the Temple Mount, you will stand on some stones that were laid when Solomon was king. I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Solomon was a great king. He led with wisdom. Now, towards the end of his life, he began to make some mistakes, and that had consequences for the kingdom following him. But Solomon led with much wisdom, and he is known and renowned for his wisdom. So, a lot of the next part of the book of Proverbs are going to be, honestly, just a collection of his wise sayings. And there's just a lot of good common sense wisdom and the next few things we're going to read. Just stuff that on its face value just makes sense and just is good for us. And I do think sometimes we can take, you've heard me say before, and it's a quote from one of my professors. She always read Proverbs and Job in tandem, because Proverbs tells you do everything right, behave, everything's going to be just fine. And Job tells you, not so much. So I don't want to oversimplify it, because you can do everything Proverbs tells you to do and still have a lot of problems. Let me be clear with that. But there's just so much good common sense, wisdom, and sound ideas for the living of life that we find in Proverbs. That if we just take these things that we read here and apply them to our life, our life's gonna be easier, y'all. It's just gonna make more sense. Things are just gonna work better. So, like today, we're gonna do chapter 10 today, but there's just some real. When I read through this, I just kept thinking, this is about just tell the truth. just just tell the truth. Verse 8: the wise of heart will heed the commandments, but a babbling fool will come to ruin. Whoever winks the eye causes trouble. Whoever rebukes boldly makes peace. So the winking of the eye. Tell them the lie. Tell them the story. Um, the mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life. The mouth of the wicked conceals violence. It says here, verse 18: lying lips concern hatred, and whoever utters slander is a fool. When words are many, transgression is not lacking, but the prudent are restrained in their speech. The lips of the righteous feed many, but the fools die for lack of sense. Um, it says so many times in here, in this chapter here, the mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut it off. The lips of the righteous know what's acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked is perverse. Tell the truth in all things, and watch what you say. I was reading or watching something. Somebody shared something with me recently about. I may have shared this with you, even already shared this with you, but Paul Harvey said something recently. Not recently. A video a friend of mine sent to me recently about Paul Harvey said years ago about how the devil could take over the world, take over America, and one of the things was it says do not teach people to restrain their emotions, to regulate their emotions rather. And I think one of the greatest problems in our world right now, and he says this as he does a podcast, so grain of salt. Our words are so many, and we've gotten to where if we think it, we say it. And I understand that. I understand that. But I heard a guy say was talking about social media that it used to be social networking, which is connections. Now it's social media, which is performance. Watch what you say. Watch what you say in person to others, but watch what you say behind your keyboard. We're quick in our age of social media to pontificate, tear down, to say a lot of words. Let's be careful what we say. Let's tell the truth in our dealings with one another. Let's be honest, even when it's hard. Let's watch how we speak of others. Let's watch how we live with each other. Verse 12, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offenses. Hatred stirs up strife. I never want to be a person who stirs up strife. I never want to be that person. I, have heard people kind of paraphrase this verse that love covers the multitude of sins. You know, whenever we show love towards each other, show respect towards each other, show honor towards each other, things tend to work out better. But hatred stirs up strife. The lips of one who has understanding, wisdom is found. Watch what you say. Watch what you speak. Watch how you act. Watch how you treat one another. On social media, yes. But I've said before, sometimes the most Christian thing we can do is be nice to the checkout girl at Walmart. How do we speak to our coworkers? How do we speak to those serving us? How do we speak to others? How do we treat others with respect that they deserve as someone made in the image of God? How do we speak to others? Chapter 10 could basically be summarized as watch what you say. Watch what you say. Watch what you say and watch how you say it. It's so easy to speak quickly and speak harshly and speak without grace towards others. And that way doesn't lead to life. That way doesn't lead to life. Tearing others down, belittling others, speaking harshly, it doesn't lead to life. Kids, be careful, little mouth, what you say. There's a lot of folk out there saying a lot of things. And there's not a lot of folk out there speaking love and speaking grace. And I think that's the only thing that's going to change the world is the way we speak love, the way we speak grace, the way we speak to one another. So just be careful what you say, friends. Be careful what you say in your digital world. Be careful what you say in the real world. Be careful what you say when you're talking to your spouse, when you're talking to your children, when you're talking to your parents. Careful what you say in every setting. Let's not stir up wrath. Let's not stir up strife. Let's not stir up these things. Love covers all offenses. Let's be those that do that today. And doing that, that's a path that leads to life. Stirring up strife is a path that leads to anything but life. The stirring of love, that leads to life. So let's not be folks today who stir up strife. Let's be folks today who stir up love. It's a good goal for us in our day. Thanks for being with us as we continue in our time in Proverbs tomorrow. We'll pick up with chapter 11, more of Solomon's good sayings. So it's going to be a